So if you're interested to hear my opinion and how I feel about the extortion that is happening to small business owners and e-commerce websites, you're going to love today's video because I'm going to give you a bit of an update and just some things that I have learned over this very, very busy week since my last video. The last video I did, I will link to it down below. If you haven't watched that, I would definitely start there because I basically explained the situation. I am being sued by Darnell Williams in Chicago or Illinois for my website not being ADA compliant. He is a visually impaired or blind man, and there are things on my website that caused him to have and suffer pain, embarrassment, loss of sleep, like all sorts of things, right? Because apparently it was difficult for him to check out, or there were other issues like my links were over 100 characters long, or my menu, it wasn't descriptive enough. Meaning like I have hair, body, fragrance, take quiz, and that wasn't intuitive enough for somebody who can't see in their screen reading software, which is all just absolute craziness. So anyway, so this week has cost me so far $10,000. That's how much I've sent to my attorney and my web developer. I had to hire a new web developer to basically fix all the problems that are with my website. I also had 3 calls. One was with my attorney, one was with the developer, and one was with the accessibility company that I was using and that I thought was keeping me safe. What I've come to realize is that having the accessibility widget on my website actually makes me a target, which is craziness. Apparently, these attorneys will look for websites, and one of the things that's like a flashing red flag to them is somebody that thinks that they're protected by having the accessibility widget. And like I said, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch last week's video. I'm gonna link to it down below. And so our first call was with the accessibility company, and basically they said, no, your website is absolutely able to be used by a blind person and with screen reading software. And it's about this widget, and it goes and it handles the JavaScript and all that good stuff. The problem is that what these attorneys do is they look at it from a code perspective. And so they're not using this like JavaScript, right? They're actually going and scanning your websites. They basically have 3 different softwares that they will use. They will scan your website. It literally takes seconds. And they will then have a laundry list of all of these items that your website is not compliant on, or their issues. Whether or not it's, not having alt text for an image, or, a link that's broken, or whatever. And one of the other things that I've learned throughout this process of being sued is that it is almost an impossible task to fix your website 100%, to make it 100% bulletproof. It's really difficult. You need to just try to have your score when there's this one scan that basically these people can use to see how compliant you are. All right, you want to be above a 90%. I currently, without fixing anything, was at 88%. And so super close. And they're, and they give you all these different reasons and these links and all this stuff. So anyway, this week I had 3 calls. One was with my attorney, my new web developer that's going to help me fix and get my website basically compliant, and one with this accessibility software. I'm probably going to be dropping the accessibility software because my developer was saying, it makes me a target. The fact that I was trying to do something to help with accessibility makes me a bigger target. And they say that really what you need to do is fix it from a code perspective. And that's the best thing you can do in order to hopefully get other people or other attorneys to basically pass you over, because there are 48 different firms in the country that consider themselves watchdog firms that are in this game. And the game is simply look for websites, run a scan on it, find places where they're not compliant, look for that score to be under 90, find a defendant, or I should say a plaintiff, and then boom, you're off to the races. And you're simply filing lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. I am being sued by Mr. Darnell Williams, but in the past week, Darnell Williams, the plaintiff for these lawsuits, basically has just filed 4 or 5 more in the past week. And so this law firm knows, hey, we got a blind guy that is willing to go along with this, And so we are going to basically now just look for all these websites, and it's literally like plug and play. It is, in my opinion, the most disgusting attack on small businesses and entrepreneurs I have ever seen. And something needs to be done about this. I was talking to my friend Robert. He actually works up in Washington. He watched my last video and he goes, "What is going on? Like, this is a thing?" I go, "This is a huge thing." And he didn't realize it. Most people have no idea that these websites are under attack. My attorney has done 2,500 different lawsuits. 2,500. Think about that. Think about that. One attorney, 2,500 lawsuits he has basically handled. Most people settle. They settle quick. They want to settle cheap because getting sued, it's scary, and you don't want to go through the process and the headache and the expense of trying to fight this. But today, knowing what I know now, I am even more resolute in my desire to fight these motherfuckers to the end. If I end up going to court and I end up losing, if I end up getting to that point, so be it. I could not live with myself if I did not stand up for myself and other small business owners. This week alone, it has cost me $10,000, and we're just getting started. If you want to help, just be a customer at Pete and Pedro. I'm going to link, have a code down below. A lot of you guys took me up on that offer last time, and I just want to say thank you so incredibly much. This is going to be hard, and this is going to be long, and this is going to be expensive. It may take a year, it may take longer than that, but I'm in it, and I'm ready to fight. Extortion. It is simply extortion. And the thing that's so frustrating to me is that nothing has been done about this yet. It will. I truly feel like it will. And me talking to Robert, who actually is in Washington and has the ability to basically bring things to the White House, he and I were talking. He said, "Can you document all this?" I said, "Yes." Yes. Like, I will document everything. He's like, "I didn't even realize this was a thing." And I said, "It's not only a thing, let me tell you 5 people that you know personally that have already been sued." And he's like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "No, like, this is a thing." And the thing that's so crazy is that people aren't talking about this. But I feel like it's my duty and my obligation to basically share this information with you. Because if you want to start a business, you need to know about this. If you have a website, you need to know about this. If you are a consumer and you are an American and you are just somebody that believes in right and wrong, you need to know about this. It is disgusting. And anything I can do to help stop this abuse, stop this disgusting, predatory behavior, I will do whatever I need to do. And if it means costing me a bunch of money in order to fight it, well, fuck it. Like, let's go. I can't think of a better use of money, honestly. Defending the integrity and the honor of other small business owners, because the fact is, a lot of these companies have not fought it. They won't fight it. They don't fight it because they don't want to spend the money, and it's already hard. Like e-commerce, like business, it's gotten crazy hard. Every day, it seems like we're getting punched in the face with something else. And I'm not complaining and I'm not whining about that. But what I am complaining about is that there's people, I'm not going to say what I was just about to say because this is my opinion. There are people out there that I feel are horrible and doing disgusting things in the name of justice for people with disabilities. They're not doing anything for people with disabilities. What they're doing is lining their own pockets and just trying to make easy money. Because for $400, they can file a lawsuit. $400. That's it. So for $400, they know that 90%, maybe more, 90% of the people are not going to fight this, are just going to settle. They're just going to try to get out of this as cheaply as possible. $10,000, $15,000, like whatever, right? So think about that. If it's your business model, the return on investment is amazing. So all I'm going to do, if I'm an attorney, I'm going to find every website. I'm going to go all over the web. I'm going to look for everything. And I'm going to run my little scan. I'm going to run my scan. I'm going to get my results. I'm going to find somebody that is willing to basically be the defendant. And I'm just going to file. I'm going to file 20, 30 lawsuits, right? Knowing that 90% of them are just going to pay you, right? Say they file 10 of them. Say they file 10 lawsuits. And 90% or 9 out of the 10 people are just going to pay him $10,000. Think about that. What did they spend to file those? They spent $4,000. They're going to make $90,000 for simply having a plug and play template that they put things in, they file, and they know that you are going to basically have to settle, or you're going to have to spend a bunch of money defending it. So for $4,000, they file 10 of them. 90% are going to just pay you out, and they'll settle for $9,000, $10,000, $12,000, call it $90,000. Think about that. And that's just at 10 people. That's just 10 websites. Our boy Darnell has already been on 5 or 6 of these. He's probably, by the end of it, going to be on like 20. Think about that. And he, honestly, is probably only going to get a very small percentage of whatever they pay out or whatever they collect. It's a racket, in my opinion, and it's disgusting. And it's only getting worse. And that's the thing that's also just so incredibly horrible. It's getting worse. The percentage in terms of the increase from 2023 to 2024, it went up in terms of these lawsuits being filed 400% in 1 year. 400%. But nobody talks about it. Nobody does anything about it. And so for me, the one thing I can do is defend me, defend my customers, defend other small business owners out there. And so I just wanted to share what's going on, give you a little bit of an update. This was a very, very difficult week. It was very enlightening, a lot of information, and my jaw was on the table probably most of these calls, just hearing what the deal is and how in my opinion, the scam works. So anyway, I just wanted to share what was going on and give you a quick little update. I'm not gonna update you again next week unless there's some big new development. I think, I will update you along the way, but it's something that I feel is important and people aren't talking about it because A, they don't want to draw attention to themselves. They're scared of getting sued again, and they just want it to go away and just handle their business and move on. And I get it. I totally get it. This has been a bit consuming emotionally, and it's okay though. I feel good about it, and I feel like this is something that I need to do. It's just something that I would not be able to live with myself if I didn't fight. I would rather spend $100,000 paying an attorney to get this thing dismissed than I would spending $2,000 and give it to somebody who's trying to basically, in my opinion, extort the money from me. I would rather spend it defending myself. Do you agree? What would you do? Down below, I want to know. Also, down below, that link and that discount code to Pete and Pedro, if you want to support me, the support, it is definitely appreciated. The money will in part go to my legal defense, along with buying other product, supporting other things that our business just needs in order to run, and that's one of the things, business is hard. Everybody thinks, oh, you're a business owner, you make all this money. Business owners are what this company or this country were built on. And people that are willing to take a chance, take a risk on something that isn't sure, and get up every single day and risk it and do the best job they can to make themselves a better life, to make the lives of their customers better, and to make the lives of their employees better. They get up every single day to do the hard yards. But unfortunately, you got people that are looking to basically take advantage of you and work the system. But I am choosing to fight. But what about you? What would you do? Down below, I'd love to know.